Hello everyone! I'm going to share with you how to make this decadent flourless chocolate cake. And it is gluten free. Friends, I am shaking my head. Let's go. So these are the ingredients that I'm going to be using. I have some bittersweet cocoa. This is the 60% cocoa we're using. Some instant espresso powder, some cocoa powder, eggs. We have some heavy cream and butter and vanilla. So with my butter, I'm using unsalted butter. So this is 1 stick of unsalted butter, which is the equivalent of half a cup. I'm going to put the butter, you want to use more of like a medium-sized bowl because we're going to be melting our butter and our bittersweet chocolate together. And I'm going to be using 1 cup of the bittersweet chocolate chips. Now in the description box below, I will have a list of all the ingredients you need to make this flourless chocolate cake. But as always, I'm going to share with you and show you how to take those ingredients and put them all together. So I go ahead and in my microwave, I do it in 30-minute increments, and I go ahead and make sure that the butter is completely melted, and then that nice warm butter is going to go ahead and dissolve those chocolate chips. And just take your time because you want to make sure that you do dissolve all of your chocolate chips. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome in. And if you're a returner, welcome back. My name is Dyvonne, and on my channel, love sharing what I cook and bake for my family in my kitchen. So if you enjoy good home-style recipes, I hope you consider subscribing. And now once our chocolate chips have totally melted, and if you need to stick it back into your microwave for another 5 to 10 second increments, you can definitely do that. And I'm going to switch over to my large bowl where I'm going to do most of my mixing. Now with this recipe, you can definitely use a hand mixer or a stand mixer, but if you're going to be using either one of those, you want to make sure that you're going to be mixing on more of a lower speed than versus like a high speed. So just be mindful if you are going to use either of those that you want to use the lower speed setting. I'm putting in 3/4 of a cup. This is a 3/4 cup measure of granulated sugar. And then we're also going to be putting in some salt, and we're putting in 1/4 of a teaspoon of regular table salt. And we're also going to be using some espresso powder. I'm using instant espresso powder. This is going to really help the chocolate to come through, to really shine through, because coffee always enhances the taste, the flavor of chocolate. And that was 1 teaspoon of the espresso powder. Then we're going to use some pure vanilla extract, and this is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Be sure to always shake your bottle because sometimes vanilla extracts or a lot of extracts will tend to settle into the bottle, so be sure to give it a nice shake before you go ahead and get your portion. So far in my bowl, I have the 1 cup of bittersweet chocolate that we had melted with the 1 stick of unsalted butter. We also have the 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. We have the 1/4 teaspoon of table salt, the 1 teaspoon of instant espresso powder, and we have the 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I go ahead and mix all those ingredients together well, making sure that I begin to go ahead and dissolve that sugar before we go on and add our other ingredients. So our next ingredients are going to be our large eggs. You want your eggs at room temperature. So I have 3 large eggs at room temperature. Then we're going to go ahead and add in our large eggs. Now we're going to be using our whisk because we really want to build up a little bit of volume into our flourless chocolate cake. Now when it comes time to add my eggs in, I like to add my eggs in one at a time. I find it easier for the eggs to blend into my batter, and also I'm not trying to chase around the eggs in the bowl trying to make sure that everything gets incorporated well. So go ahead and add your eggs in one at a time. And again, if you're going to be using a stand mixer, I would suggest using the whisk attachment versus the paddle attachment, and keep it more to the low to low medium speed level. Now once we've whipped our eggs into our batter, you're going to notice that your batter has more volume and it's taken more on the cake batter consistency. And we have achieved this by not adding any type of flour to our mix. And it is looking so good. It's nice and shiny. It is smelling good. And so the last step we're going to put in, it's going to be our cocoa powder. And I'm using a Dutch blend cocoa powder. And also because we're not using any type of flour, we didn't need any type of leveling, no baking soda or either baking powder. This recipe does not require it because we're not using any type of flour. So for our cocoa, we put in a half a cup of my Dutch blend cocoa powder. And you can also use cocoa powder that says unsweetened. You can use that one as well. And then I slowly blend in and incorporate the cocoa powder into our mixture. Now while I'm doing this, I have my oven. My oven is preheated on 375 degrees, and we're going to be baking our cake in an 8-inch round pan, and it's going to bake for 25 minutes, and our cake is going to develop a nice thin crust. So it's going to have a nice thin crust on top of our cake, and it's not going to puff up or have the buoyancy that it would if this cake had flour in it. So it's going to bake up a little bit different. So you're going to be looking for that nice thin crust, and that's going to be about 25 minutes. It's going to be baking at that 375. And so our batter, we have blended it well. We have no lumps. It is a nice smooth batter with no lumps. Now this is my 8-inch round cake pan. I have sprayed my cake pan, and I've also put in parchment paper. So I cut out my parchment paper to my 8-inch round. I sprayed my pan, then I put the parchment paper down, and then I went on and I sprayed the parchment paper as well. Now your cake will bake for 25 minutes, but at 20 minutes, check on it, peek on it, see how it's doing. I like to use my tester or either toothpick and insert it in the center. When you insert it in the center of your cake, it should come out clean. Be sure to push your batter all the way to the edges of your pan, and you also want to smooth out your batter because you want to have a nice even layer and not one side higher than the other. Our cake is ready to go in the oven. It's going to bake at 375 for 25 minutes. So our cake is out of the oven. It has baked up for 25 minutes. It has that nice top crust that I talked about. And you see where I inserted my toothpick right in the center to check to make sure that it had baked up completely. Now I let my cake sit in the pan for about 5 minutes, and then I use my butter knife and I go around the edges. Be gentle when you go around the edge of your pan, and then once I've done that, what I do is I kind of shake it back and forth in the pan to loosen it up from the bottom as well as the sides. I'm going to use my cake pan and do one quick flip, just like that, and then gently lift up, straight up, lift up, and then that's the parchment paper we have, and you peel off the parchment paper. So the bottom of our cake now becomes the top. Now it's time for us to make our chocolate ganache for our cake. Now the chocolate ganache is what makes this cake so decadent. You're going to heat a half a cup of cream, heavy cream or either heavy whipping cream. Either one of those is fine. You're going to heat it until it starts to simmer and have little bubbles around the side. Then we have 1 cup of the bittersweet chocolate. So again, that's a half a cup of nice hot simmered heavy whipping cream or either heavy cream. We pour that over our 1 cup of our bittersweet chocolate. We're going to go ahead and blend this until it is smooth. Now once we blend it and it's nice and smooth, and it's also going to be just slightly cooled, we're going to pour it over our cake. So that heavy cream and the chocolate together is what makes a ganache, and the ganache is what we're going to be putting on our cake as our icing or frosting. We're going to be using a nice ganache for it. Now when you're making your ganache, you want to make sure with your heavy cream or your heavy whipping cream that you don't boil it, that you just simmer it. We're going to spread our ganache over our cake and also let it cascade down the sides. We're going to put our cake in the refrigerator and let our ganache go ahead and firm up. And this is going to take anywhere from about 45 minutes to about an hour. So I'm going to service up some. I'm going to see how we did. This pairs great with some vanilla ice cream. You can also make some homemade whipped cream. Some nice sweetened homemade whipped cream goes great with this. And in the description box below, I'll put my recipe for homemade sweetened whipped cream, so you can also have that as an option to serve with this wonderful decadent cake. Now with this cake, a little goes a long way. And let me tell you, this cake is truly a chocolate lover's dream. Well, are you ready for your bite? I'm going to give y'all the first bite. And it cuts so well. Go ahead and take your bite. Now I'm going to take my bite and see how we did. This cake, Who knew gluten-free could be so good? Some fresh raspberries or strawberries would also be so nice with this cake. And because it's nice and decadent, it'll serve about 8 to 10 people because a little goes a long way. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me in my kitchen, and this dessert was my family's dessert when I made homemade spaghetti and meatballs. And if you haven't seen that vlog, I'll be sure to put a link to it in the description box below. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to show it some love, give it a thumbs up, and click share. Share this video with a friend or family, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you can come back and visit me again in my kitchen. And remember, it's always good when Dyvonne is cooking for the family. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.